Thus, Tian Yulong, Chief Engineer and Spokesperson of the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, he will brief you on the development of industry and information technology in 2021 and answer your questions. We are also joined by two other spokespersons, Mr. Luo Junjie, Director General of the Performance and Inspection and Coordination Bureau, and Mr. Zhao Zhiguo, Spokesperson and Director General of the Information and Communications Administration Bureau. First, let's give the floor to Mr. Tian Yulong. Ladies and gentlemen, friends from the press, good morning. First, I would like to thank you for your interest and support for the development of industry and information technology. Next, I will brief you on the development in this area in 2021. Since the 18th National Congress of the party, President Xi Jinping has made important direction in this field and lead this sector in achieving great results and historical achievements. This has provided strong support for fully building a moderate society with moderate prosperity. Over the past year, facing the complex environment and multiple risks and challenges, the industry and information technology sector has been committed to the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era and earnestly implemented the decisions and plans of the party's Central Committee and the State Council. We have coordinated COVID-19 response with social and economic development, forged ahead against difficulties, implemented measures to maintain stability in the 6 key areas and protection in another 6 priority areas, and implemented the strategy of building China's strength in manufacturing and cyberspace. The industrial economy has maintained an overall momentum for recovery, and positive progress has been made in information technology, achieving a good start for the 14th Five-Year Plan. There are mainly 4 highlights. First, the industrial economy continued to recover and develop. The Central Economic Work Conference underscored that efforts should be made to stabilize the macro economy and keep major economic indicators within an appropriate range. We have prioritized promoting stable industrial growth and focused and put a series of policies. Through policy and guidance, we have introduced a series of 14th Five-Year Plan and medium to long-term plans in the area of industry and information technology. We formulated a series of policies to stabilize industrial growth. We have worked actively to deal with the sporadic cases of COVID-19, the increasing in price of raw materials, coordinated our policies to ensure the protection of market entities, stabilize investment, and encourage consumption, therefore ensuring the balanced development. Over the past year, the value added of industry grew by 9.6% year on year. And as you may be aware, last year in the 4th quarter, the industrial growth once slowed down, but in the 3rd quarter, industrial growth once slowed down. But in the 4th quarter, as policies and measures that boost industrial economy took effect, the downward trend was reversed and the industrial growth gradually picked up speed. And under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee and State Council, we have overcome difficulties, and the industrial economy was generally stable and achieved good results. These are hard-won results. And second, industrial transformation and upgrading is clearly gaining speed. We have prioritized stabilization of supply chain and industrial chain. We have speed up the digital transformation of the manufacturing, and promoted the transformation and upgrading of traditional industries, and the development of emerging industries. There are major achievements in mainly 3 areas. First, digital transformation in manufacturing has accelerated. The innovation-driven development of industrial internet has achieved remarkable results. with its network, platform, and security system put in place. 5G plus industrial internet has formed 20 typical application settings and were put into practice in 10 key industries. These ranks among the top in the world in terms of innovative applications. And second, green and low-carbon industrial development is making positive progress. We have made implementation plans for carbon peaking for the industry sector as well as a whole and for key industries. The production of crude steel reduced by over 320 million tons, and the energy consumption per unit of value added also decreased. The emerging industries maintained high-speed development, and the high-tech development and manufacturing of equipment also sped up. The new business forms and new business models are also developing with a rapid speed. In particular, one thing you're all interested in is the new energy vehicles. The production and sales of new energy vehicles exceeded 3.5 million units, with a year-on-year increase of 1.6 times. Therefore, the industrial transformation were quickly the whole year in 2021. And third, measures to ease difficulties for SMEs took effect. We have regarded promoting the development of SMEs as a long-term strategy to stabilize growth and develop employment. We have, under the leadership of the State Council's mechanism for promoting the development of SMEs, we have coordinated with various departments, strengthened guidance and supervision to improve the business environment for SMEs and to energize them. We have devoted efforts to give policy support to SMEs and introduced a series of policies to support SMEs. We have taken measures to improve the long-term mechanism for preventing and resolving late payments to SMEs and achieve great results. We have also introduced favorable policies such as tax and fee cuts and inclusive finance. Efforts were also made to promote the development of SMEs that are specialized, refined, peculiar, and innovative. Policy documents were introduced such as cultivating and developing high-quality enterprises in the manufacturing industry and enhancing the competitiveness as SMEs. The number of SMEs that are specialized and innovative are over 40,000, and the number of champion manufacturing enterprises and small giants are over 800 and over 4,000 respectively. They have become the pace setters in their specific industry or field. And we also would like to see more enterprises that are innovative to be set up. Fourth, the information and communication industry made new progress. We have given full play to the empowering role of the new information technology, continue to improve new information infrastructure, help develop new forms of business and applications, and continue to build capacity to support the digital transformation of economy and society. There are mainly four aspects. First, the growth speed continued to increase. The revenue of telecommunications increased by 8% year-on-year, and that of software and information technology services increased by 17.7%. The construction of dual gigabit has been accelerated, with the network covering 300 million households, and a total of 1.4 million 5G base stations have been set up. And over 500,000 administrative villages across the country have full access to broadband, solving the historical difficulty of communication for the poor areas. And industry supervision has been expanded and done in an innovative manner, achieving solid results. We have carried out actions to address problems within Internet and to address the infringement on users' rights and interests by apps and promote the transformation of the Internet applications to be more senior-friendly. We also increased security. We have promoted step-up efforts to prevent telefraud and strengthened personal information protection and data security management. We have provided communication and network security support for the celebration events of the centenary of the CPC. And now we are providing communication and network security support to the Winter Olympics and Paralympic Games. There will be 5G coverage at all the venues in the 2 cities and 3 competition zones, providing strong support for the cloud broadcast and for the events. So these are the major 4 highlights of our work in 2021. In 2022, there will be more complexities and uncertainties in the external environment, and China's industrial economy faces contracting demand, supply shocks, and weakening expectations. These are the 3 layers of pressure. The task of stabilizing growth remains tough. We will continue to implement the guiding principles of General Secretary Xi Jinping's important speeches and the Central Economic Work Conference. Promote the high-quality development of industrial economy. We will coordinate COVID-19 response and social and economic development, and focus on the goal of building China's strength in manufacturing and cyberspace. With stable industrial growth as our top priority, we will do a good job in pre-adjustment, fine-tuning, and cross-cycle adjustment, focus on improving the competitiveness of the industry, and help the industrial economy to operate smoothly, improve its quality, and achieve upgrading. We'll keep the proportion of manufacturing stable, strengthen and improve the real economy, which is a ballast for the whole economy, and prepare for the successful convening of the 20th National Congress of the CPC with outstanding results. I'll stop here and I will join my colleagues to answer your questions. Thank you. Thank you. Now the floor is open for questions. Please state your media outlet before asking your questions. Thank you. I'm with CCTV. The year 2021 is the launch of the 14th Five-Year Plan. It's a year with significant importance in our modernization. Industry is a leading player in national economy. When the industry is stable, the economy will be stable. What's your assessment of the overall performance of the industry economy in 2021? Thank you.
Well, just now, I gave an overall review of the work in 2021. Indeed, in 2021, a very special year, we conscientiously implemented the decisions and arrangements of the CPC Central Committee and the State Council and strived to overcome the adverse effects of the spread of the epidemic, tightening supply of factors of production, and persistently high-quality prices. And we worked to ensure the continued recovery and growth of the industrial economy and the stability of the industrial and supply chains, and kept raising the level of modernization of the industrial and supply chains. And all these efforts have provided important underpinning for the growth of the macroeconomy. And there are the following features of the performance of the industrial economy. First, the industrial economy continued to recover and develop. Industrial production was generally stable in 2021. But the growth rate was first high and then low. In the third quarter, affected by the combination of factors such as COVID-19, energy factors, and the flooding, the industrial growth rate showed a trend of declining. But under the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee and the State Council, the MIIT worked with all other departments to focus on the implementation of policies including corporate relief and energy stabilization, and managed to reverse the downward trend in the fourth quarter. So the overall performance has been stable and has not been easy. For the whole year, the added value of industries above designated size increased by 9.6% year-on-year, and the average growth rate in the 2 years was 6.1%, which is higher than the level in 2019 before COVID-19. And manufacturing grew by 9.8% with a 2-year average of 6.6%. The annual industrial capacity utilization rate was 77.5%, 3 percentage points higher than the previous year. This means a very high level of industrial capacity utilization, and enterprises are seeing greater profitability. In the first 11 months, the profits of industrial enterprises above designated size increased by 38% year-on-year, with a 2-year average of 18.9%. And operating income profit rate reached a high level of 6.98%. Industrial exports also maintained rapid growth. Delivery value of industrial exports above designated size increased by 17.7% year-on-year, with a 2-year average of 8.3%. So exports were also on an upward trend. So this shows a sound shape of industrial performance. Second, key industries maintained a growth momentum in 2021. 39 of the 41 major industrial sectors maintained growth, and 15 grew by more than double digits. So the overall trend is very sound. Added value of the raw material manufacturing industry increased by 5% with a 2-year average of 4.1%. And profits growth was even better, 98%, which was resulted from the growth of raw material costs. So raw material developed pretty good last year. Equipment manufacturing grew by 12.9% year-on-year with a 2-year average of 9.7%, contributing more than 40% to the overall industrial growth and the stability of the overall performance. The electronics industry was driven by home economy products and external demand, and both industrial added value and export delivery value maintained double-digit growth. So it was an area of highlight. The added value of consumer goods manufacturing increased by 9.8% year-on-year with a 2-year average of 4.5%, maintaining a stable recovery in general. Particularly driven by the demand for medical supplies, the added value of the pharmaceutical manufacturing industry increased significantly by 24.8% year-on-year. This is also a sector that contributed to our COVID-19 response efforts. Third, the industrial structure continued to optimize. The investment in manufacturing industry was also being adjusted and optimized. Investment in manufacturing industry grew by 13.5% year-on-year, of which investment in high-tech manufacturing industry increased by 22.2%, and the structure continues to optimize. Added value of high-tech manufacturing increased by 18.2% year-on-year, driven by investment, and the growth is rapid in areas such as intelligence and upgraded emerging products, including industrial robots and integrated circuits, including new energy vehicles, which grew by 1.6 times. Structural adjustment and growth driver transformation continued to advance, and new infrastructures such as 5G and industrial internet accelerated the digital transformation of manufacturing. Technological breakthroughs in basic and key areas have also made progress, contributing to the upgrading of the structure. On shipping containers, China has contributed significantly to the international shipping industry, especially in the context of a shortage of containers. In areas such as PV, wind power, and shipbuilding, China's competitiveness continued to expand alongside the improvement of our industrial structure. Also, under the framework of the carbon peaking and carbon neutrality efforts, we are also implementing the relevant plans and policies on achieving carbon peak and carbon neutrality. And the unit energy consumption of enterprises above the designated size decreased by 5.5% year-on-year in the first 11 months of last year. Fourth, SMEs also achieved recovery growth, which was attributable to a series of corporate relief policies. And we have further invigorated the market vitality of market players. In the first 11 months, operating income and total profit of SMEs above designated size increased by 20.7% and 28.2% respectively, with a two-year average of 9.8% and 17.1% respectively, both higher than 2019. Therefore, we are also adopting policies to support SMEs with specialization. Among the 1,185 small giant enterprises, their profitability was 10.9% in the first 11 months of 2021. That said, the impact of COVID-19 still remains, and these enterprises are still facing challenges, and we are stepping up support for them. All in all, there are still uncertainty and complexity in the environment, but we are happy to see the progress in 2021, and we are confident for the performance in this year going forward. And we have many favorable conditions. China is leading the world in COVID-19 containment. We have a well-developed industrial system and supportive equipment. China's economy is resilient and has enormous potential, and our macro policies are being implemented. I'm sure that the growth trend of China's industrial sector will remain unchanged, and with more policies being rolled out, we will see more highlights in some areas, and we have every confidence to realize the steady performance of the industrial economy of China. Thank you. With CNBC, I have two questions. The production of chips and automobiles have been recovering. Does that mean the issue of shortage of chips will be resolved, and what are your predictions for 2022? Second, some foreign analysts have worries about the impact of the industrial chains in China because of the zero-COVID policy, and what measures will the MIIT take to ensure stable performance? Well, on the automobile production, I will ask Mr. Luo to answer this question. Well, thank you for your questions. Last year, the production of integrated circuit continued to face a shortage, and all sectors are facing challenges. This has created some difficulties for the auto industry worldwide, which suffered the impact the earliest and on the biggest scale, and many countries have suffered the issues of reduction of production or even halting of reduction. There are multiple reasons. First, with the development of smart technologies, chips are the most important parts of smart devices and are being used more extensively. Second, because of the spread of COVID-19 and because of some countries' unreasonable cracking down on other countries' tech companies, these factors have resulted to a shortage of chips. With the development of market adjustments and the concerted efforts of auto manufacturers and chip manufacturers of all countries, this shortage issue is being resolved. But we are also seeing that there are still major challenges in the stability of industrial chain for chips globally, and there will continue to be shortages in chip supplies. The auto industry is highly globalized, and China is the largest market for auto chips. China always follows an open and development-oriented attitude to continue to stabilize its industrial and supply chains. So regarding the auto chip shortage issue, the MIIT has been taking this very seriously. We are taking multiple measures to ensure stability in the production of auto chips, and going forward, we will also continue to maintain communication cooperation with relevant countries and regions and encourage backbone companies in China and abroad to step up production to ensure greater stability, while at the same time we will implement the State Council policies on the sound and high-quality development of auto industry and chip manufacturing in the new era, and ensure the free flow of resources and factors, and work for the high-quality development of integrated circuits and build an interdependent global system of integrated circuit development. Well, on the zero-COVID policy, there are many analyses by some foreign media outlets regarding its impact on the industrial and supply chains. China's policy is one based on prevention of foreign exportation and domestic flare-ups, and this has been consistent and clear up. We always put the people and their lives first, and we have acted swiftly to put COVID-19 under control. And China is leading the world in terms of COVID-19 containment. On our economic growth, particularly the industrial economic growth, from the results in these sectors, it means that our policy, COVID-19 policy, has been beneficial for our industrial chains and supply chains. And it is because of our commitment to this COVID-19 policy that we had been able to reopen the economy the earliest in the world and maintain economic growth. So from our economic growth, our exports, and in other factors, they are all on an upward trend and have regained normalcy. And that is thanks to the effective and vigorous COVID-19 containment measures. There are two issues that you may be very concerned about. There are some regional flare-ups of COVID-19 in China, and there are also some restriction measures in some cities in China. It could have some regional impact on the industrial and supply chains, but they are only transitory effects and will not produce extensive large-scale impact. Also, because of the fact that our COVID-19 policy is a targeted one, it will not have a huge impact on the overall industrial and supply chains. But in foreign countries, COVID-19 is yet to be put under control, and there are more uncertainty for the supplies from foreign countries, which could result in some uncertainty for China's supply chains. But our policy will remain targeted, and that will be supported by our more targeted efforts to ensure the stability in the supply and industrial chains. It will contribute to the resilience of our supply chains and to ensure a more smooth exchange between the domestic and the international supply chains. The unimpeded domestic and foreign international trade will also be important to the long-term stability of the economy. We will continue to strike a fine balance between COVID-19 control and the economic growth, which will remain a major task of China in this year. Thank you. Next question. Thank you. With China National Radio. According to the recent National Work Conference on Industry and Information Technology, we have hit the main targets for last year and realized a good beginning for the 14th five-year plan period. Could you give more information on that? Well, thank you for your question. Last year, we have been implementing a strategy of building a strong country of the internet and have been integrating ICT and economic growth. Industrial telecommunications revenue reached 1.47 trillion RMB yuan, up by 8%, which was 4.4 percentage points faster than previously. And the major measures we have been taking is that, first, we have strengthened the planning for the 14th five-year plan period. We issued the development plan for the 14th five-year plan period, and the 5 three-year action plans in 5 major areas contributing to a policy system for the telecommunications area. Second, major progress has been made in the new type of information infrastructure development with stronger support for digital transformation. And over 300 million households are being covered by broadband internet. This has contributed to the dual gigabyte internet capacity for China, and the industrial internet infrastructure is taking shape with the coordination of cloud computing and the internet in 10 major areas covering mining, steel, and electric power. 5G plus internet, industrial internet, has formed 40 typical application scenarios and empowering the transformation of the industrial area. Third, we are taking solid steps to improve industrial regulation and the performance of regulation. The level of modernization of regulation is being improved, and major breakthroughs are being made in the governance of platforms, and we are seeing an improvement in platform compliance and the openness of the industrial ecosystems. And we are also making inroads in the overhauling of rights infringement by apps, and we are conducting technological supervisions for apps on a daily basis, and we are basically resolving the issues of advertisement popping in apps. Fourth, we are improving cybersecurity support and building a stronger defense of security. We implemented the management regulation on cybersecurity loopholes, and we are improving the application capacity of 5G technology. We are putting in place a real name registration system for Internet of Cars, and we are putting in place a categorized management system for industrial Internet systems. And this means major breakthroughs in preventing telecommunication fraud. Fifth is to serve people's livelihood in a deeper and more practical way. And we are realizing broadband access to every village in all administrative villages across the country to help more people get on the digital train. We conducted targeted cost reduction for rural households and lowered the cost of Internet use. The first batch of 217 websites and apps closely related to the lives of the elderly have been renovated and evaluated to provide more comprehensive, intimate, and direct convenience services for the elderly. 5G technology is empowering smart Winter Olympics, creating smart application products such as smart viewing, cloud broadcasting services, and smart venues, further enriching the viewing experience and improving the level of event services and venue operations. In the next step, the MIIT will resolutely implement the spirit of the Central Economic Work Conference, adhere to the principle of stability and seeking progress while maintaining stability, take effective measures to promote the stable and rapid growth of the industrial sector, continue to increase 5G development and application, and promote the upgrading and optimizing of the industrial internet. We will accelerate the construction of an agile, accurate, and efficient industrial supervision system and contribute to the high-quality development of the information communication industry. Thank you. Next question.
近年来，数字经济飞速发展，引起广泛关注，成为“十四五”新引擎。
Thank you. The recent years have saw fast development of the digital economy, becoming a new growth agent in the 14th five-year plan period. What are the major progress and what is the future prospect? How to ensure the long-term progress of the digital economy?
Thank you for your question. The Party Central Committee and the State Council attach great importance to the development of digital economy, and General Secretary Xi Jinping has gave instructions on multiple occasions. Last year, the digital economy enjoyed rapid development. There are the following aspects. It is an area of integrated technology, and the core issue is the core technology. in terms of big data, cloud computing, and blockchain. We have our capability in these areas ranks among the top of the world. We have a very clear edge in terms of 5G telecommunication technology and 5G related equipments, technology, and applications. We're also leading in the world. Smartphones is also a sector that we are among the most advanced in the world. Integrated circuits and softwares and their applications are areas where we have achieved significant outcomes. Therefore, we have made new breakthroughs in terms of key and core technologies. And second, we have strengthened our digital development in terms of overcoming difficulties. The new infrastructure has been sped up, and our strength and overall strength has entered a new stage. We have completed the largest optical fiber and 5G network in the world. This is an important foundation for the development of digital industry. We have set up and put into operation over 1.4 million 5G base stations. Therefore, we have promoted the development of 5G internet, industries, and applications in an integrated way. And the digital industry is demonstrating stronger resilience. Over the last year, the increase in revenue in software and information technology services increased by 17.6%, which is above the average level in this sector. As our digital development is developing rapidly, it is also becoming a driving force for the whole sector. And third, digital transformation is picking up speed. The smart equipment is developing rapidly. For example, the 3D printing equipments grew by 27.7%, and these are the highlights in this area. And there are over 150 industrial internet platforms that are with a certain influence. And there are over 20 5G plus internet projects under construction. And digital technology is further empowering the development of the SMEs. And these companies with innovation capabilities are developing rapidly. And they will be the new highlights in our development. And fourth, the development ecosystem for digital economy has been gradually improved. We have deepened the reform of government functions, streamlined procedures to reduce the institutional cost to support the digital economy enterprises. And we're working with multiple departments and local authorities to give full play to the strength of the local in terms of talents and innovation capacity. As you may see on the news, there are many digital economy expos and forums on the locality level, therefore to promote communication and to improve industry clusters. This is a very prominent aspect in 2021. And in terms of international cooperation, we have promoted cooperation through multilateral or bilateral mechanisms such as G20 and China-Russian cooperation. We have promoted more enterprises to go global and take part in rules making. These efforts have contributed to the building of a community of shared future in cyberspace. And we are seeing a very good momentum in terms of digital economy. Going forward, the ministry will meet the requirement of the State Council's plan for the digital economy in the 14th five-year plan, unleash potential, strengthen our governance system, and better coordinate the digital industrialization and the digitalization of industry, better empower the traditional industries, build new business models and forms. I believe under the guidance of this plan and with concerted efforts and joint resources, we will promote the rapid and sound development of the digital economy. Thank you. Thank you. Now we're seeing sporadic cases in China, and with the base number and the relatively high in the first quarter of last year, what actions will you make to improve the industrial economy of this year's first quarter? Thank you.
Well, thank you for your question. As Mr. Tian just mentioned, facing the downward pressure on the industrial economy, in the latter half of last year, we worked with relevant departments to formulate new development policies. Particularly in the fourth quarter, we worked with the NDRC to issue the implementation plan on reinvigorating the operation of the industrial economy and promoting high-quality industrial development, which proposed 16 policies to stabilize industrial growth in 4 respects. The measures have effectively boosted the operation of the industrial economy in the fourth quarter. That said, the current situation of the stable recovery of the industrial economy is still not solid, and the global COVID-19 situation is still subject to great uncertainty. Economic and trade growth momentum is weakening. Domestic supply constraints still remain. Consumption investment demand is still weak, and SMEs are still facing difficulties in production and operation. Combined with the recent spread of COVID-19 infections in many places in China, and also the base number effect, the industrial economy is facing a great challenge in the first quarter of this year, and we have acted early to take policies in this regard. At the end of last year, we made arrangements for the stable start of the industrial economy in this year and in the first quarter, and urged competent departments to encourage enterprises to make arrangements for production during the Spring Festival and the New Year holidays, and strengthen raw materials, labor, and other factors at the support of these factors. Going forward, we will conscientiously implement the spirit of the Central Economic Work Conference, adhere to the principle of stability and progress, and on the basis of doing a good job in both COVID-19 control and implementation of the policies and measures we have issued, we will work with relevant departments to adopt measures and policies in terms of finance, taxation, and supply and price protection, investment and foreign trade, as well as SMEs, to do a good job in pre-adjustment, fine-tuning, and cross-cyclical adjustments, and make good efforts to stabilize industrial growth. Going forward, we will make utmost efforts to achieve a stable continuity in the first quarter and stabilize the overall economic market. First, we will focus on boosting investment in manufacturing. We will give full play to the key role of investment in stabilizing industrial growth, promptly initiate the implementation of the National 14th Five-Year Plan and the 14th Five-Year Plan in the industry and information technology sector, and establish major projects, scheduling service mechanisms in conjunction with the relevant departments and local governments. We will strengthen industry-finance cooperation, encourage and support enterprises to increase investment, and guide financial institutions to increase support for the digital and green transformation of businesses. Second is to actively guide the expansion of consumption. We will seize the opportunities of traditional festivals such as the Spring Festival and the Lantern Festival to stimulate the advantages of the domestic super-large market and tap the consumption potential of residents. We will implement the policy to improve brands, quality, and categories to promote information-based consumption and expand the development of smart automobiles, smart old age care, and winter sports equipment. We will encourage localities to conduct the promotion for green, smart home appliance and building materials in rural areas. Third is to do a good job in ensuring coordination of energy factors. We will accurately break through the blocking points of the industrial chain and supply chains, including the lack of chips, lack of containers, and lack of labor. We will focus on resolving the shortage of auto chips and smoothing the supply channels for key components. Fourth is to accelerate the role of new growth engines. With the digital and intelligent transformation of traditional industries and the expansion and strengthening of emerging industries, we will stimulate new momentum for economic growth, improve the multi-level industrial internet deployment system, deepen the integration and application of 5G and gigabit optical networks in manufacturing, mining, energy, agriculture, and other areas. We will also expand the application of virtual reality and smart healthcare and elderly care, and promote the development of emerging industries such as big data, AI, and Internet of Vehicles. Thank you. Next question. With People's Post Daily, what are the progress in 5G development and application, and what will be the arrangements and policies for the development of 5G going forward? Thank you.
I will answer this question. Last year, the ministry has implemented the decisions of the Central Committee and State Council, pooled resources, and sped up the development of 5G technology and receiving good results. We have stepped up policy guidance. The MIIT joined hands with other 9 departments and issued a plan for 5G development. It is a 3-year plan. This aims to coordinate the development of 5G and foster new growth drivers. We join hands with other departments to promote the application settings of 5G in the healthcare sector and promote smart medical services. We join hands with the Education Ministry to help 5G technology assist the development of education. And we also promoted the internet construction. We have finished building the most advanced and 5G network with the largest scale. Last year, we have built over 1.4 million 5G base stations. Among them, there are over 800,000 shared 5G base stations, covering all the prefecture-level cities and also key areas in cities and villages. And this coverage has been gradually expanded. And last year, there are over 200 million smartphones in China, showing steady growth. And also, we're improving the application of 5G. We have hosted a competition with the participation of over 7,000 participants, and they have all submitted various projects, breaking many new records. We have seen new new screens and other products being put into use, and they have been used in major celebration events, bringing new experience to our consumers. And also in energy and other sectors, there are more and more applications of 5G. In terms of remote control of equipment, managing productions, these are the typical application settings of 5Gs, and these have been widely used in ports, electricity, petrochemistry, and other areas. These has helped enterprises to improve high-quality development, reduce cost, and achieve rapid development. And we're also seeing many difficulties faced by 5G. For example, there are some technological difficulties, and the business models need to be improved, and the environment needs to be better protected. Therefore, we need to coordinate the strength of multiple departments to promote the high-quality development of 5G. The year 2022 will be an important year for the development of 5G, and we will earnestly implement the decisions of the Central Committee and the State Council and step up the integration of 5G with its vertical industries, and our work will be mainly in the following fields. First, we will strengthen the foundation for 5G. We will help companies to make breakthroughs in the core technologies in 5G and to actively participate in the rules making in the international stage, and to better develop 5G chips so as to meet the different demands for 5G applications. We will also step up emerging consumption terminals such as 5G watches and wearable devices. We will also promote 5G development, the development of 5G internet, to expand the coverage of 5G in counties and villages, and also expand 5G internet coverage in high-speed railway trains and shopping centers. We will also promote the application of 5G in medical care and other sectors. Next, we will promote 5G application at a larger scale. We will hold the 5th session of the 5G technology contest, continue to conduct pilot projects in 5G plus education and 5G plus healthcare and other sectors to expand the settings that can use 5G technology. We'll continue to foster an upgraded version of 5G plus internet, industrial internet, to promote the construction of 5G technology in factories. We will strive to introduce a series of 5G apps to increase people's sense of fulfillment and security. Thank you. What results has the ministry gained in terms of addressing the issues with apps? Will you step up your efforts, and will your focus be?
Well, thank you for your question. There has been a very rapid development of mobile internet, and apps are being closely related to the life and production of the people, and app security is also a point of interest of the millions of users. We always put people first, and always focus on the protection of the rights of users. And focusing our main responsibility, we focused on the unlawful leveraging of mandate authorization and strengthened coordination. We have implemented an overhauling program regarding the outstanding issues in 5 major areas. First, we improve the regulation and standards and conduct law-based overhauling. We always prioritize rules and regulations. Last year, relevant legislations were adopted, including the data security law and privacy law. We are also adopting regulations on the protection of personal information and worked on the formulation of the standards on the minimum necessity for information collection for apps, and this provides the policy and standard underpinning for app overhauling. Second, we focused on the hot spots and challenging areas, including what the people are concerned about the most, and this is the top priority of our work. That include pop-up advertisements of apps. We conducted a targeted overhauling program for this area and has basically resolved this issue, particularly on major holidays and other moments. We focused on holiday traveling and other well-being service apps. Last year, we conducted 12 batches of technical inspections on a monthly basis, and we notified over 1,500 and canceled over 500 apps. Third, we relied on technology to strengthen regulation. Now there are millions of apps being used, and we must strengthen our toolkit for management. Last year, we used new technologies such as big data and strengthened the automatized inspection of apps by the platform, and we have basically realized the full coverage for all apps of major internet businesses. Fourth, we are strengthening the self-disciplining of enterprises. We are duty-bound to urge companies to perform their own responsibilities, and we convened meetings with nearly 1,000 enterprises to conduct 16 training workshops to urge them to have a stronger sense of red lines and work for compliant operation from the source. Fifth, we are strengthening services and developing new measures for regulation, and we focused on the satisfaction of the people. In November, we focused on the key links and improved the user services for app users, and we circulated 2 lists for the management of authorization leveraging, and we are improving the quality of services. In 2022, we will focus on the following areas. First, we will take a holistic measure to form full link regulation and focus on key links, and for app stores and for third-party apps, we are exerting a full coverage of all apps and to build a safer information consumption environment. Second, we will work on relevant enterprises to implement all requirements and organize inspections to improve the effect of our work. And third, we will work for coordinated management to ensure long-term progress. We work with relevant departments to form synergy, to form an environment of government management, corporate discipline, and media supervision, so as to build a safer and cleaner app environment. Thank you. Next question. With China Electronics, SMEs are the backbone for economic and social development. The CPC Central Committee and State Council attach great importance to the development of SMEs. What is the current status for the development of SMEs, and what measures will be taken to promote their development?
Thank you for your question. In my briefing, I also touch upon this issue because this is the issue of interest. I will add a few points. SMEs are a backbone of national economy, just like you said. The Party Central Committee and State Council attach great importance to this issue and introduced policies to ease the difficulties for SMEs. And this has been a priority of our work last year. Under the State Council mechanism on helping the development of SMEs, we have coordinated with various authorities and achieved great results. We have promoted the 3-to-1 work system for facilitating the small SMEs, that is, to providing support in terms of policy, services, and environment, and focus on the two key tasks of addressing financing difficulties and enhancing the protection of their legitimate rights and interests, and aim to make them more innovative professional. And we have introduced policies in a very holistic way to promote the sound development of SMEs. According to our data, SMEs above a designated size, their profitability increased by 28.82%, and the 2-year average growth rate was above 20%. And the big data on the electricity use of SMEs showed that in the first 11 months, and 49.4% of SMEs used more electricity than the same period last year. This shows they have become more active, and therefore, with the guidance measures of Central Committee and State Council, and as you can see, the State Council Executive Committee has introduced policies to postpone the debt payment for SMEs. These measures all demonstrate the State Council's support for SMEs. That said, the SMEs still face many difficulties. And because of the COVID-19 prevention measures and in terms of the external environment, they also face many challenges. Going forward, development of SMEs will be our priority. Focusing on stability, we will promote the stable development of SMEs. We will fully implement the policies that have been introduced to assist and help SMEs through policies and institutional arrangements. We will promote the high-quality development of SMEs. Especially, we will promote development of SMEs that are specialized, refined, and innovative to make them more professional, to help them better address difficulties. And third, we will improve service the at the national level and local level, we will strengthen support for SMEs, introduce tax and fee cuts, help them expand financing channels. And these are the areas that we will focus on and introduce more targeted measures. And fourth, we will continue to improve the environment, business environment for SMEs and protect their legitimate rights and interests. The State Council's mechanism also urged that now we're implementing the plan in the 14th five-year plan. We need to better evaluate the business environment and continue to improve the environment. In particular, we need to implement the regulation of ensuring the payments to SMEs. And through our efforts in this area, we will protect the rights and interests of SMEs. And we will continue to improve the mechanism to prevent the late payments to SMEs and to implement these regulations effectively so as to truly benefit the SMEs and promote their development. There will be one more question. Thank you. The Central Economic Work Conference stressed that the core competitiveness of manufacturing must be increased, and the Executive Meeting of State Council also said that the manufacturing should move towards the medium and high end. And what effects has been made in terms of improving the core effectiveness of manufacturing, and what are the further plans?
Thank you all for your support for the work of industry and IT. Improving the core competitiveness of the manufacturing industry is a long-term task as well as a task put forward in the Central Economic Work Conference. We will continue to improve manufacturing competitiveness going forward, and the safety and stability of industrial supply chains is a core in this task. Over the last year, the recovery and growth of the industrial economy, particularly manufacturing, accounted for 27.4% in the first 3 quarters, maintaining a stable share of the overall economy, and the enterprises' profitability is also improved. In the first 11 months, the profits of industrial enterprises above the designated size increased by 38%. And increased by 41.3% from the 2019 basis. So the development has been fast and the profitability has been very good. And the resilience of the industrial chain was improved, which is crucial for the overall improvement of core competitiveness. In some basis areas, we are also having a higher level of quality, including container, PV, wind power, and shipbuilding, and other equipment manufacturing. Our competitiveness has also been strengthened globally. So these are the specific manifestations of the improvement of core competitiveness. Throughout the whole year, high-tech manufacturing and equipment manufacturing increased by 18.2% and 12.9% respectively. And core improvement of core competitiveness will be a major task. There will be 3 plus 3 areas. First is to improve technologies. We will double down in this area and improve the development of core technologies. We will create a number of national manufacturing innovation centers and work with localities to co-construct centers to build an efficient and linked manufacturing innovation network. Second, we will improve the innovation capacity for industrial technologies, or the basis for industries. We will focus on basic components, basic materials, basic software, basic processes, and industrial technology foundations. They are the key basis for the development of core competitiveness. China is on a solid foundation already, but still needs to keep up with the advanced technologies in the world, and we need to further upgrade the foundation. Third, we will improve the resilience of the industrial chain and supply chain. The supply chain of key products will be cleared, and we will focus on strengthening our long links and shoring up short links, and step up investment in the manufacturing, and improve the technological improvement and equipment renewal. So in those three areas, we will step up our work, and then we will form three highlights. First, we will enhance the professional ability of SMEs, and they are the backbone of our innovation-driven development. With taxation and fee cuts, we will work for the specialized companies to grow faster, and they play a key role in the industrial chains. Second, smart manufacturing will improve the development of smart manufacturing. We will use new technologies to ensure digital transformation and to improve the development of smart manufacturing, equipment manufacturing, and high-level components. 5G plus industrial internet and other areas, we will continue to stay ahead and improve our quality in these areas. And then green manufacturing. As we achieve carbon peaking, we will accelerate this process in key areas, improve green manufacturing, and advance the application of low carbon and green technologies, and improve the efficiency for the use of energy and water resources. Green development is also leading the development of equipment manufacturing. So this is an area where we'll make utmost efforts. Of course, we will curb the development of high production capacity and high pollution projects, so that the smart manufacturing quality will significantly improve in the year 2022. So this is my brief answer to your question. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. This is the end for today's press briefing. Thank you.